Welcome back, everybody. This is my second video in the Beginner's Guide to Bass series, and today we'll be talking more about German bow technique. Now, for those of you who need help understanding basic bow grip, go ahead and check out my last video, which talks more about the basics. But for those of you who are ready to learn more about bow techniques, let's get started. In today's lesson, we'll be talking about even strokes, dynamics, and different types of bowing techniques. The first step to playing with smooth-sounding bows is learning to play even strokes. Practice long bow strokes on an open string, such as D, and you should be bowing so that your up and down bows sound the same, or as similar as possible. One shouldn't be louder or have a more percussive start than the other, and remember to keep your bow parallel to the bridge. When you play, you should also try playing with a slight slant in your bow so that your bow is tilted towards you. This allows your sound to project more. And while you practice, always try to maintain a fluid and connected motion with your bow and arm. This is a useful skill to have as a bass player, and it helps to make your playing sound smoother and more direct overall. So for those of you who don't know, dynamics is basically just a fancy word for the volume of your playing. There are three main ways to change the dynamics of your playing, and they are the speed of your bow, the weight of your right hand, and the distance of your bow from the fingerboard. So for speed, your sound typically gets louder as you increase the speed of your bow. You can try this out on an open string by playing eighth notes with full bow. The same goes for the opposite as well. Try playing quarter notes with full bow, and you should find that your notes are quieter than before. For weight of your right hand, the more pressure you put on the bow, the louder your stroke will be. Now obviously this one is a fine balance, as putting too much pressure will result in a scratchy noise or your bow getting stuck, like this. So try playing with more pressure than before to get a louder sound, and try playing with very little pressure to get a softer tone. The last way to change your dynamics will take a little more practice in order to incorporate it into your playing subconsciously. The most direct way to play with more volume and a fuller sound is to move your bow closer to the bridge. This also has its exceptions, as playing too close to the bridge will result in a scratchy tone as well. And subsequently, you'll find that playing closer to the fingerboard will result in a quieter tone. In order to show you how to play different types of bowing techniques, I'm going to introduce the D major scale. Here are the fingerings. Open D, 1 for E, 4 for F sharp, open G. 1 for A, B, 2 for C sharp, and 4 for D. Now, since this major scale takes you past first position, it's worth mentioning that in order to get the best tone quality, you'll want to move the bow closer to the bridge as you move down the fingerboard. Once you feel comfortable with this scale, try playing some of the dynamics we were practicing. Try playing this scale piano or quietly. Then try playing it forte or loudly. Then you can decrescendo or get quieter throughout the scale. Or you could try crescendoing or getting louder throughout the scale. As you can see, the possibilities are endless. Now, I just want to start off by saying that there are so many different bowing techniques, but I'll only be covering some of the most basic and common ones today. The first articulation I'm going to introduce is legato, which is Italian for tied together. This articulation means that bow strokes are long, smooth, and connected. In order to play this, you should keep your bowings and string crossings as connected as possible with little to no gaps in between. Try imagining your hand making a figured 8 with your bow. This is what it sounds like. The next articulation we'll be learning is staccato, which is Italian for detached. This articulation means that notes are short with a rounder sound. While staccato ranges from a variety of note lengths, it's usually relative to what's written in the music. To play staccato, imagine your bow making a curve into the string as it brushes. This will allow you to make a roundish and full-sounding note with a shorter length. This is what it sounds like. The last bowing technique I'm going to introduce today are slurs. This is when 2 or more notes are played together, like this. The key to playing slurred notes is timing the change in note so that each note is played the same length unless otherwise indicated in the music. And most importantly, slurring will become easier with practice, and here's how you can do that. First, try playing a major scale with 2 notes slurred together, like this. Then, once you feel comfortable with that, you can try slurring 4 notes together. Once again, the possibilities are endless, as there are infinite slur variations that you can try. Thanks for watching. I hope this video was helpful. In my next lesson, I'll be going over different scales and how to play them, so stay tuned. As always, if you have any questions or are interested in lessons, here's how to reach me. Thanks again, and remember to like and subscribe.